Dak or is it Wentz? Long-term bet.
Okay, I'm going to have someone very disappointed with me in my response to this question at this table.
Who could it be?
Long term,
Don't do it.
it is Dak Prescott.
Oh,
No
thank
way.
you. Because that's
Long
the
term.
obvious answer.
Explain yourself.
It is Dak Prescott long term, and for me, you look at a couple things. There's a lot of things you can look at this, but for me, health. If I wasn't concerned about health whatsoever, I would go with Carson Wentz, short term. But long term, talking about durability, and also who has the greatest ceiling to climb to, I believe that's Dak Prescott. And what I mean by that is he has the opportunity to continue to improve in areas where we all feel like he has weakness. Accuracy, his ability to win the big games. He has won. He continues to win. He's won his first playoff game. He continues to build that camaraderie with the guys around him. I think he'll have another year, a complete year with Amari Cooper. This team was built, let's not forget, for Tony Romo. A championship team was built for Tony Romo. He stepped in and he took it over. And he said, no, you know what? This is going to be my team.
He did.
Carson Wentz's issue is his team was built for him. And now he has the Nick Foles looming over the cloud looming over his head, to where now he has to overcome that and regain the fact that, guys, I'm the leader on this team. We understand how talented, how gifted he is, the skill sets that he possessed, the accuracy, all these things are great, but he hasn't been able to get it done, and Nick Foles has. So the weight that is on his shoulders is a lot heavier than what is on Dak Prescott's shoulders. This team, again, built around team, not Dak Prescott solely. I like the future of the Dallas Cowboys with Dak Prescott at the helm versus Philadelphia Eagles and Carson Wentz.
Walk it to him is better long term. Walk it to him. Because Carson Wentz at the quarterback position is based on what? The ability to throw the football. I don't have to worry about that with no accuracy and all this other stuff. Let me get this some. Carson Wentz had a better QBR. You love Q. That's your favorite stat. It measures 0 to 100. He loves that. You know, Skip loves QBR. Carson Wentz had a better QBR, better completion percentage, better yards per attempt, better touchdown interception ratio. Carson Wentz had one fewer touchdown despite playing 5 fewer games. Do you know Carson Wentz in his career has thrown for more touchdowns despite playing 8 fewer games than Dak Prescott? If you look at QBR, in 2 of the 3 years, walk it to him, Carson Wentz has a better QBR.
And guess what? In 3 out of 3 years, if you take it collectively, there's only 6 players with a higher QBR over those times. And I believe Carson Wentz has missed 13 games in his NFL career. Go on.
QBR than Dak Prescott. If you do quarterback ratings, 2 of the 3 years is walk it to him. So I don't even know what we're talking about.
Who has the best QBR over his first 3 years? Well, let's just get this on the table.
Are we doing averages?
You're spinning like he tries to hit the football.
Oh, walk it to him. That's how he got Dak ain't got no name.
He can spin it right to the wolf hunter.
Okay. Shannon, how about 14-game winning drives? How about we add all those rushing touchdowns that he's got in there? How about that he's done kicked Carson Wentz's ass twice last year? How about that? How about he can take a hit and keep on rolling? How about he only cost the Cowboys a 4th-round draft pick? Go on.
Dak got to catch a name. They call him Deacon and Dakin. That's what he got.
Deacon and Dakin.
I love that pass. Walk it to me. He walked it right into the wolf hunter's hand. Leighton Vander Esch.
And this is what we.
I'm
this
gone.
is what we know. Carson Wentz's ceiling is MVP because that's where he was headed in his second year.
Oh.
Was Dak Prescott's ceiling?
But
Super Bowl MVP.
See, that's where my concern is, because we've seen pretty much the peak of where Carson Wentz can get to. We've seen that.
What if that's the peak? What if
we don't know it. Can he get back to that?
No.
We thought he could get back to it last year.
What have you seen the best that Dak Prescott has to offer?
Now that he has Amari Cooper, we see him. The
took
one
off.
thing that I love about Dak Prescott is the timing and his playmaking ability. We can harp on everything that he's not. I've done it. His accuracy, his inability to put the ball in places on the dime in tight windows. But the Dallas Cowboys went out and got Amari Cooper, and their thought was our quarterback is going to be better because of it. Did that happen? No doubt about it. It happened, and now he gets a full offseason, a full year with Amari Cooper, Ezekiel Elliott, and all these other weapons. Added Jason Witten as a security guy. I like what they're doing around him to make him even better, to ensure that what we have moving forward is going to be special.
Thank you. Shannon Sharp.
What do
You are riding the wrong horse.
No.
You need to jump off while you have a chance, because you're going to be riding my horse sooner than later, because we know you jump on the hottest bandwagon, and mine's going to get hotter and hotter. Pretty soon I'm going to be arguing against myself on this show, because he's going to be saying, I love Dak Prescott.
And ain't going to happen.
All right, you know what? I had enough of that. And yes, I apologize that the video doesn't sync up with the audio. And I can tell you exactly why, because I am actually learning a few things. And what it is these are actually television screens as opposed to computer monitors. And what I found out after starting to do some more research, because I am constantly working, I am trying to constantly upgrade what we are doing here on the Joe Boo Sports Report, I actually learned something. What it is there's a difference between a computer monitor versus a television. A television will actually have that lag time as opposed to a computer monitor. So by the time the signal comes from the laptop here going to this television, there's a little bit of a lag. And it's not noticeable unless you're actually doing what you guys are doing, is watching. So what I actually have to do, which is another one of these upgrades that I'm going to do for the studio, we'll get to opening up for business with Victor in a second, is actually get 32-inch computer monitors to go in here so that way it'll sync up. So I understand, man. I don't have ESPN money yet to be able to just go ahead and build this stuff out the way I'd like to, but we're getting there. And as Victor has put out there, hello friends, Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Joe Boo. And as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Joe Boo Sports Report. And let's get open for business, and let's wake up the football gods right there. And how's everybody doing this Friday night? Thank you for tuning in here to the Joe Boo Sports Report. Our Dallas Cowboys rookies are on the field today, tomorrow, and Sunday getting Victor. He's right here. He's right here, Victor. Don't worry. Joe Boo's just relaxing, maxing and relaxing on the couch. Our rookies are on the field working out as we they're not working out now. They're done for the day. But they're working out, getting ready to go. And we had some great stuff today. I'm going to go ahead and play a clip of our fearless leader, Jason Garrett, if you don't mind.
He is now live at the podium and the lectern in Frisco.
We're not doing anything really physically. The tempo that we're using is very similar to what we do in the mornings out of training camp. We call it team on the grass tempo. You do get a chance to see how they move around a little bit. But I think maybe more than anything else, just the look that they have, how quickly they pick things up, how coachable they are. These guys are all really, really excited about this opportunity. So there's great energy and juice with them. And hopefully over the course of the last 12 hours, they knock some of the anxiety and nervousness out of themselves and are getting a little bit more comfortable as we go. But you're really evaluating everything, even though it's not a full speed tempo.
How often do you think back to your first moments in an NFL camp on a day like today?
I think it's important to remind yourself of that because it is the first time they've come into an NFL locker room, and they get there and their name's over the locker, and their name is on the back of the helmet or on the notebook, or they have a jersey, and those are big moments for people. I don't care when you were drafted, if you're a college free agent. These guys have been thinking about this for a long, long time. So I do think you have to be mindful of that. I do think in a setting where it's just rookies, it's a little bit less intimidating to them. You come into a locker room and you see all these Pro Bowlers, these veteran guys around, all of a sudden, maybe it's a little bit of a different feeling. So we are trying to orient them. That's what it is. It's a rookie orientation, and I do think that allows the transition to happen maybe a little bit more smoothly for these guys. They can get a little information under their belt. But there's no question you reflect back on those things, and hopefully you try to have some understanding of that, when you're coaching them.
What do you really try to impress upon them that first day when it's obviously a big day, they've gotten the nerves going, they're anxious, it's kind of like the first day of school. What sort of message do you try to drive home with those guys?
Well, it's a great opportunity, an opportunity that they've earned. A lot of people have been involved in this in their lives, whether it's a mom or dad, older brother, a coach, a teacher, aunt, uncle, a grandparent, somebody has had a big influence, and probably in many cases, a lot of people have had a big influence. But ultimately, these guys have earned this opportunity to do something that they probably dreamed about since they were 8 years old. And not many people can say that in life. So I think it's important to recognize that opportunity, and everything that you do should reflect the appreciation for that opportunity. So we try to impress upon them that idea, the idea that they've earned a great opportunity for themselves, and now it's time to take advantage of it. So it starts there. The rest of it really is about the expectations, what they can expect from us as coaches and what we expect from them, and really what we're looking for. Ultimately, we're going to have 90 guys in our team. We're going to try to get down to 53, and we got to decide how we're going to pick them. And we think it's important as a coaching staff to make sure we're abundantly clear with everybody what we're looking for each and every day. And to say that right at the outset, I think is important for these guys. Now they know, what they need to do to achieve this goal that they have. So we try to be really clear, crystal clear with all those ideas, and then we get to work. We try to teach them the specific position skills, the scheme that they're going to be required to do, and there's a lot of information that goes with that too. But we start in a big picture, and then we get closer and closer and closer and whittle it down to what they need to do each day.
Over time, you always stress the history of this franchise and some of the great players that have been through. With that in mind, what does it mean that Larry Allen Jr. is here, and what do you remember him from on the sidelines, in the locker rooms, just when he was a kid around with his father?
Well, you said it. His dad is arguably one of the greatest players in the history of the National Football League, among the best offensive linemen ever to play, and certainly among the best players ever to play in this organization. So I was fortunate to play with Larry for 6, 7, 8 years, and he's just a great football player and a great man. And we were fortunate to have him here. And, young Larry, we got to know him when he was young. We actually tried to recruit him to go to Princeton, and he chose Harvard instead. But he was a really accomplished football player and an accomplished young man, throughout high school. And we all knew about him and followed his career. And I had a great visit with his coach, Tim Murphy, about him, right around draft time, and he just endorsed him to the highest, both as a player, a guy who could be a candidate to make our football team, but maybe more importantly as a person. Larry was raised well. He was raised around football, but also was raised in a real well-rounded way. And he has a lot to offer as a person. And I think he's excited about this opportunity. And it's really fun for us to have him here.
Oh, sorry. Let me just push send on that. Okay, so this is kind of some new technology and stuff for me here. What this actually has done is I can actually load up video into the software and stuff. So click, I can put it on there. You guys can watch it and everything else. And I can run to the bathroom if I need to, or go grab a bottle of rum or something. So we're working hard to try and change up what we're doing and bring you guys the best. I have a dream of actually becoming, and I'm not going to say like ESPN, Joseph, because I see you in there, but becoming able to put out better content like ESPN does, where we're going to start working with other YouTubers and other bloggers and stuff, and be able to really and truly give you updates on the Dallas Cowboys. Now, back to rookie training camp, mini camp here. This was actually a great tweet that happened. Rookie wide receiver Jalen Guyton was actually sitting in Dak Prescott's locker getting interviewed. Best thing I've seen in rookie camp. Undrafted free agent wide receiver Jalen Guyton was given an interview at Dak's locker when Dak walked in from a workout. Guyton hopped up quick, only for Dak to shake his hand and say, "Man, sit back down. I was just grabbing for my hat." So that's kind of cool when you start thinking about this, the way these guys are working together. It's a far cry, and I think things actually changed. You'll remember when Dez Bryant was a rookie? Dez Bryant was like the first one who was like, I ain't carrying nobody's bag. And there was the big hoo-ha about that because I think it was it $55,000 dinner bill that they had, because it's hazing, okay? You know, they always haze. I mean, you know, in college, they shaved the rookie's head and everything else at the end of camp, you know, and stuff like that. And, Mark, is there a reason the video is lagging? Not sure, Blake. It shouldn't be. It should only be lagging when I've been showing the stuff on here. Audio and video isn't synced. Dez was hazed. I can't actually listen to the stream that's going out. I'm going through and talking at the same time right now. The only thing I can do is if it's lagging that bad still, is stop and restart the stream. So that's all I can do on that. So, well, I'll tell you what, here's what I'll do. Let me stop the stream and I'll restart it and see if that takes care of it. I apologize, but that one shouldn't be me. That is another one. Okay. So, all right, hold on. Well, hello, friends. I'm back, and hopefully that took care of the lag. Let me know if it's still lagging or not. I stopped and restarted it. Let's see if that takes care of it. And hopefully didn't drop everybody out. So let me see if that is still there or not there. Let me know if you guys are back and still there with me. Nope, still lagging. I'm not sure why it is lagging. It shouldn't be. Let me switch cameras real quick and see if that makes a difference. Okay, let me know, is that still lagging? Lagging got worse. Lagging got worse. Huh. Still a delay. No, you were good. Dez is back. It's like watching a Japanese. Maybe if I just like this, it would help. We're here, still lagging. Not sure why it's not a lag. It's a delay. The video is behind. Okay, when you say behind by 3 seconds, it's. Hold on. Let me actually look at this. Now, back to rookie training camp, mini camp here. This was actually a great tweet. I'm actually looking at it. Well, I'm not sure why it's doing that one, why it's lagging on me. I'm too cocky with the technology. Come on, Tamira. No, we hear the audio 3 seconds before we see the video. It's like an old 60s film. Okay, it might be too much. Okay. I tell you what I'm going to do. Let me do one more thing and see if this helps. Hang on 1 second. 1 second here. Okay. Let's see if that takes care of it. And let's see if that does it. Bruce Lee. Okay. All right. I think I'm going to have to stop the stream and restart it to. Seems like I was better when I first got started. You know what? Quest Cowboys. Well, I'll tell you what. Okay, hopefully that took care of it. We'll find out in a second here. Give it a second to catch back up, and see if it is or isn't. Okay, so let's see if it's syncing up with it, still Kung Fu moves. If it doesn't change, then unfortunately, I guess that we're just going to have to deal with it or just not do it tonight. I'll leave it up to you guys on what we do. Still here? Okay, cool. All right, let me look at the view here on... Oh, that's weird. That's weird. Hold on. Let me try and go to it again, because you may have to refresh it. And, or it may actually be YouTube. It may actually be YouTube. I think what you're going to need to do is actually... Okay, tell you what you do. Go through and refresh it. I think it's actually, yeah. No. Refresh it, because I'm looking at my, this is weird. I'm looking at myself on YouTube. Because I'm going to say, go. And you see that? And if I see that at the same time and hear it, then I know it's right. So, refresh the stream. Okay. Who timed you out, Victor? I didn't. Yeah, it's actually still lagging. Okay, so I think that's actually YouTube. It's going fine here on my screen, but it's just, I don't know. We're just going to have to deal with it for tonight. I apologize. But I tell you what, what's sinking in and doing well is I can at least, boy, see, when I have something like this happens, it really just kind of throws me for a loop. Mark going into overtime night. Yeah, we're going to have to do that. So we'll go into overtime and try and see it. That didn't fix it. Well, you know what? Just close your eyes and just listen. How about that? And that's what we'll do. The same video and the voice is not in sync. Wow, this is crazy. The only other thing I can do is restart the computer, which would be stopping and shutting it down completely. And if you want, I can do that. If it's really, really that weird. But I tell you what, while I'm working on this, I'm going to give you guys something else. I was blessed, and this really drives me crazy. I was blessed to meet somebody really, really cool. I'm an idiot. It was crazy because some months back, somebody had sent me a message, and they said, listen, this is Dak Prescott's uncle. What you should do is send him a friend request on Facebook, get to know him and stuff, send him a Power 4 shirt and stuff, and maybe, he can, give you a shout out or to Dak or something. And I was like, okay, let me check this out. So I go to his Facebook page, and there he is with pictures with Dak. And I was like, oh my God, this actually is Dak's uncle, Peggy's brother. And I'm looking at it, and I see we're not Facebook friends. But I see he'd actually sent me a Facebook request. It's like, oh, geez. And I've only got a few spaces left. There's hundreds of ones in there, and I just don't know. I don't know who to put in, who don't to put in. There's so many ones that are scammers and whatever else. Oh, no, Tamira, I am an idiot. I am an idiot. So not only had he sent me a friend request, he had actually sent me an instant message. And I'm reading the instant message, and it says, hi, Mark, I'm Dak Prescott's uncle. I love what you do. I don't always agree with everything that you do, but you're fair and you're balanced and you're a really, really good guy. And if there's anything I can do for you, let me know. So what did I do as a response? Thumbs up. Thank you very much. It literally went straight over my head. What we're very famous for is being Dak Prescott's uncle. Rest your sister's soul. Excuse me. it literally went straight over my head that this was Dak Prescott's uncle. And, you know, my dream in life is to get an interview with Dak Prescott. It's like, you all know I'm in the tank for Dak Prescott, okay? I believe in Dak, all this hate and everything else that he gets and everything. I'm sick and tired of it. You know, listen to Charlie Casserly saying that, you know, he should be happy. You know, they should give him a cheap deal and he should be happy about it. And it's just like, what the hell? I mean, are you kidding? Are you really serious about that? But that's the way he is literally treated. So I've been talking to Dak's uncle, and this guy makes me look like I don't do anything because he is constantly on the go, on the move. He's a school teacher. He coaches swimming, basketball, football, and everything else. He helped raise Dak and stuff. And so we've been talking and everything, trying to get together and stuff. And finally, today we got together, and I've got a whole interview with him that literally, there's parts of it that make me want to cry. But I'm going to give you guys a little clip from this, and when I get finished doing this, it's a long video, so it's going to take a while to upload, but I'm going to upload it. But let me give you a taste of it. Oops. Let me try that one more time. What we're very famous for is being Dak Prescott's uncle. Rest your sister's soul. What was he like growing up, if you don't mind me asking?
Just like he is right now. One of the most heartfelt, good-hearted, just humble, just a beautiful kid, man. I got stories about him touching people's lives when they didn't even know they were being touched.
Mm-hmm.
We always knew he would be something. He was always something special. Didn't know he was going to be. He was always something really special, and he always had a work ethic and a constant and a focus that, you know, being a coach for so long, it's a rare thing to see that level, and when you see that level of focus and commitment and work ethic, you know he's going to be successful at anything he does, and he'll continue to be successful at anything he does. I wouldn't care if he stopped playing football next year. It wouldn't affect me, you know, in any form or fashion. I'm proud of him from.
Well, you know, to me, he has the it factor, and you know, and I'm gonna be honest with you now. I don't follow college football that much. It's one of those things that I'm only allowed to do one sport. If I do more than that, I think I'd be divorced because I devote so much time to it. So I don't do that much college football. But I was looking because the Dallas Cowboys were having problems with, of course, Tony Romo, and you had to start thinking about who was going to be the next person that they were going to get. So I was watching the Senior Bowl in 2016 to just see how Carson Wentz looked. And I saw, of course, Dak Prescott, and I was like, Dak played better than Carson Wentz. And I was like, it was the MOP, I think, it wasn't MVP. They called it something else for the Senior Bowl.
It
was weird what it was, but it was MOP, I think, for some reason. And so I just started looking at some college film, and I just kept saying, this guy has it. He's sitting here winning in a place that does not have the best of talent around him. I think only the tight end was the only other player on the offense that was drafted in the 6th round from his class, and I just kept seeing him doing all this stuff and just seeming like he had it. And to me, you can't measure it. You can't know what it is. It's not physical. You just know it when you see it, and it just felt like he had that leadership ability. And you feel like he's always had that.
He's always had that. He was just always such a great leader, and he had a toughness about him that I mean, my sister was. When I tell you, if there's anybody tougher in this world, man, it was her. She was. Mm-hmm. I'll never forget. They were playing. He lived in a neighborhood with some big guys, man. I mean, there are some stories I could tell you about Nick Saban and some of these other coaches coming to recruit Dak's older brother, who Jace is 6'5", 6'6", about 365 to 400 pounds in high school, and he was the biggest. But there were some other guys out there, 6'4", 6'5", you know, 230, and Dak was about 4 years younger than them. Mm-hmm. And in his house one day, kind of teared up and complaining about they hurt him. And Peggy said, well, good. Then don't go back out there. And she said, if you can't handle it, you stay right here. And he bowed up and said, no, I'm going back and I'm going to play. And he never walked back in that house again. And he was just the toughest kid and always has been, and good-hearted and humble.
Your sister must have been a very, very strong personality. That's I see people are asking, like, who's this guy you're talking to? That's Dak Prescott's uncle, Philip, Barbara's brother. He helped raise Dak. Dak's father wasn't around when he was growing up and stuff. And it's about a 27-minute interview on there, you know, and kind of gave you some insights on Dak and how it's like I said, I edited it and I've got to actually upload it. There's so much stuff that was going on, I hadn't had a chance to put it up yet, but I encourage you to watch it. There's a part in the end of it that literally is a tearjerker, because Philip starts talking about his mother knowing that she had cancer when he was a junior. And because she was going through it, they didn't want Dak to know it. And she said, he said basically Dak's time, going to college and getting his education, because he's working on getting his master's degree in psychology. So not only is he working, and when you play college football, it's playing college football. I mean, I remember being, for me, and this was many, many years ago, at 6 o'clock in the morning, getting treatments and stuff, ice whirlpools, 6 a.m., going to class. Then in the afternoons, you had classroom work. Then you had practice. Then you had weightlifting afterwards and stuff. So it's literally around the clock. You don't have much time to just kind of, let me go home for the weekend. No, you got games. So she was really, really sick his junior year, and still wanting to go to games and stuff. So, having cancer and basically having 6 months left to live, you can't just sit out in, Mississippi in the sunshine. But one of the things that the NCAA doesn't allow you to do, you get a scholarship, but you can't get, any special treatment. She couldn't be in a luxury booth, suite, because that's considered, extra. And then because you have a disease that, they don't differentiate between, that and psoriasis. So then that means they'd have to give one to everybody. And we're talking about a business, the NCAA, that literally makes billions of dollars. So he created a foundation for college athletes that have family members that are terminally ill, so that way they can help pay to get them to the games and stuff, and make sure that they have everything they need, so that way they can spend time with their kids. It's a touching story to think about it. So I'll get that whole video up, and hope you guys watch it and enjoy it and understand some of the things about Dak Prescott that hopefully you haven't heard anywhere else. And I'm very appreciative for Philip, coming on and giving me that interview and stuff. Like I said, it was very touching to me, and something I will always remember. But the thing about Dak Prescott is, of course, he's about to get a contract. Sean Heaton, thank you very much for the super chat. The funny thing about Dak Prescott is, no matter what he does, it seems like he's always never gets credit. And this is something that I just wanted to bring this clip back, because this was very telling about how we are as Dallas Cowboys fans.
Exploded. I've got to see how many yards. switch went on in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, maybe the light switch. Hey, look, we have a big lead in our division. Everybody that we wanted to lose, the Redskins, Seattle, I think, Panthers lost. We got the division.
Hey, enough about the offense. How about that defense?
Well, they kind of let up a little bit in the fourth quarter. It ended up being an offensive showdown. But happy birthday to the birthday girl. She's 21 today. Okay? I'm a Combs, and my God.
Okay, I bring that clip back because that was the Philadelphia Eagle game. The last game that Carson Wentz played for the season. That game that Dak Prescott threw for over, 457 yards, something like that? That game that we had a shootout in the fourth quarter, got the ball, and kept the ball the whole time, scoring a touchdown, not even giving the Philadelphia Eagles a chance. A win after starting out 3-5, beating the world champions for the second time, taking a commanding lead in our division, and that was the response. And I'm not trying to throw, gentlemen, if you're watching, I'm not trying to throw you under the bus. But understand, we won the game. We won the game. And it was like, you're making mistakes and you got to make a change. We won the game. Victor, what are you doing tonight? Did you forget your meds today? Did you forget your meds today, Victor? Is that what it is? It was an incredible game. And the funny thing about it is, the thing that happened for our Dallas Cowboys that second half of the season is, we learned how to win. That was one of those games that we normally would lose. I want you to think back, where we had the Denver game. Blake Adams, thank you very much for the super chat. Think back to the Denver game where we scored 48 points, had over 500 yards passing, and we ended up with one play that killed the game for us. Think about games where we were up 26-3 at half against the Packers, Matt Flynn, and throw the ball more in the second half than Green Bay and lose the game. Think about Aaron Rodgers after the catch, no catch, going down the field, scoring. Think about Aaron Rodgers after we go down, score. There's not enough time for him to do anything. And then all of a sudden, boom. Incredible play. That was the kind of games that we used to lose all the time. And yet, the fans are like, nah, fuck that. How about the defense? Well, you see how many points the defense gave up in the fourth quarter? 190, Alex. But slow. The slower, the better, because it lets the fibers and the fat and stuff just kind of melt through it. Actually, I'm doing a couple of pork shoulders for my friend Clarence. Clarence is like, man, I got a taste for pulled pork. So I get two big pork butts that are dry rubbed. I'm going to put in tomorrow. But that's the thing that's crazy about it. And this is where you get skip. And guys like this that are like, oh, well, Dak sucks and everything else. And no matter what you say, people are going to say, oh, well, he only has 14 comebacks because he sucks. He has to, the game stayed so close that he has to win it in the fourth quarter. That's why he's got 14 wins. What? And you hear, oh, listen, Carson Wentz, 2 of the 3 years, he got better, QBR. Wait. Take 3 years. Totality. Because you're not counting his Carson Wentz's first year, which he was sucked. Where he sucked. You're not taking Jared Goff where he sucked. Because Jared Goff sucked the first year. Jared Goff sucked the second half of last year. You take the average because you're going to have good years and bad years. Tony Romo had 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, and then 12-4. He had years where he threw over 20 interceptions. So you have to take that stuff. Oh, I'm going to get the whole thing up, Kathy. Don't worry. I'm going to do it after I get finished the live stream. Probably not the right time to put it up, but it'll be a good interview. I mean, you'll enjoy the whole thing. You've got to take it in totality. And you can say, okay, yes, Dak sucked between the middle of his second year to the middle of his third year. But look what he did before that. Look what he was doing, and look where we were going towards the end. I'm still mystified with ESPN's whole ranking that has us at 18th. They got 4 teams rated ahead of us that we beat. I don't think we went backwards, did we, on our team? Did we go backwards? Did I miss that? Did we get worse? Did we have wholesale changes of getting rid of guys? Because weren't we 8-2 the last 10 games of the year, including playoffs? We're watching Police Academy. I'm sorry, Texas Twister. I don't know what happened. I don't know if it's YouTube or whatever. I'll have it done on the next stream. I was going to go into overtime, but so many people are complaining about I don't know what it is. I don't know if I need to reboot the computer, if that's the issue, or something else. Wentz has just played 10 games in 3 seasons. He's missed. Carson Wentz has missed 13 games, including playoffs, for the Eagles in his career. Which is, that's where I love, like Shannon Sharp saying, oh, well, he ended up missing some games and stuff, So you can't count that because in less games than Dak Prescott, he has more touchdown passes. Which is true. Dak's got a hell of a lot more rushing touchdowns. You count those, he's got more touchdowns. He's got more yards. He's got less interceptions. He doesn't mention that, does he? That Dak Prescott has more games than Carson Wentz, but has quite a few less interceptions. He didn't bring that up, did he? He's got selective things that are in here. And the sad thing about it is so many people will hear all of these crazy things that you see on here and take it as fact. If you hear it enough, you start to believe this stuff. Because it's always there. Now, I have to agree with you, Zachary. I believe that we are going to be the top 5 offense. I look and say, because here's what's interesting. Because as Shannon Sharp starts saying, he's only as good as he's ever going to get. Well, I tell you what, I don't think that we've seen the ceiling yet on Dak Prescott. Because let's take the first half of last year. First 8 games, 7.2 yards per pass, right? Okay. And 208 yards a game. 89 QBR. Second half of the same season with Amari Cooper, 7.63 per pass. 278 yards per game. 102. So, didn't that improve? I mean, we're talking about 70 yards more a game during a season. We're talking about 2 more feet per pass. We're talking about 14 QBR. And that was with a guy who didn't have a training camp, an OTA, came through in the middle of the season. So if you were playing and winning 8 of 10 games at the end of the year, you got everybody who's healthy, unlike, did you guys see Doug Peterson today? Anybody see Doug Peterson's interview? Oh, I love that. Oh, my God. I absolutely positively love Doug Peterson's there with his Eagles, and they're asking him, how's Carson Wentz? Will he be ready for OTAs? We're not talking about Carson Wentz. We're talking about the rookies. But, how's Carson Wentz doing? Well, he's not ready to practice yet. Well, will he be ready to practice for minicamp? Well, he's doing phase 2, and he started getting pissed off. He started to literally, you could see him kind of getting hot on the collar. My quarterback is working out with all his new toys. Carson Wentz is still rehabbing it back. And I got to tell you, you might need to be worried a little bit. So when you think about November, December, January, February, March, April, he's been out 6 months. 6 months with the back. With a fracture. 6 months with the fracture. Didn't Tony Romo come back a couple of weeks later and play? Well, my quarterback is there. He's working. Victor, come on, man. Victor, man, why are you going backwards, man? Victor, you know you're my boy. I know you're about to be a daddy sometime soon. I hope you don't treat your child, your boy or girl, whichever you're going to have, like you do here on the chat, man. As I learned today, again, you are what you put around your kids. They're going to grow up learning from you. There's no kid that is born a racist or a bigot or evil or mean. They are like a sponge. They suck up what's around them, and that's what they learn. The Wigman, thank you very much for the super chat. So, yeah, Eagle fans need to be worried that if it's still taking this long for him to recover, that he may have Romo-itis at a young age. Another thing I love, my running back, Zeke Elliott. Zeke is at practice. Zeke want to get paid. I don't blame the man for wanting to get paid because of all that he does. He is an absolute positive beast. And I want him to get paid. Is that Clarence? Clarence, come on over here, man. That's my man Clarence. Clarence is coming by because he's like, man, I want some barbecue. So I got some pork shoulders and stuff. This is Clarence missing in action. Come on, man.
Hey, I'm good right here.
The cameras are all facing towards me, man. They're all facing towards. Look, there's camera 1, there's camera 2, camera 3, camera 4. Okay, so you're good. Now, you're almost on screen. But thanks everybody for those super chats and stuff. Clarence is coming through and saying hello. Actually, the couch right here that Joe Boo is chilling on, that's for my man Clarence, man. He ended up giving that to me. But he needs to get a case of tissues. So here's what I love about Zeke Elliott. The fact that he is wanting to get a contract. You don't hear Zeke saying anything out there. We have people saying, Zeke looked fat. Zeke pulled his shirt off and said, find the fat. I dare you. I'm starving and I'm ready to eat on the NFL. He's working out like all these guys are, not being a distraction. Did you see Adam Gase today for the Jets? He was about like Doug Peterson because people were asking, where's Le'Veon Bell? Captain Coran, thank you very much for the super chat. He was like, I know where he is. He's working out. He's getting himself ready and blah, 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 blah. Think about Odell Beckham. Odell Beckham, the man who can't stay healthy and stay out of the headlines, who just seems to be a little bit crazy. That's what kills me, is that guys want to leave a place that they're being successful with. They go someplace completely new, and then they want to show up. To me, you're supposed to be getting a fresh start, right? You're supposed to be getting used to a new team. Right now, I look at my team. I look at Dak and Zeke. You know, Dak is feeding them. They're having a great time. You know, they're going fishing. They're going to the firing range and stuff with the Rangers and stuff. Okay, drop it off. Thank you, Clarence. I'm going to start cooking them early in the morning. Okay. It's got about anywhere from 12 to 16 hours. Cool. So, like tomorrow evening, it's two of them.
I'm about to do a jig.
Okay, it's 2.
I'm about to do a jig.
So this is the time that you're bringing in the rookies, you're bringing in the veterans, you start putting in stuff, because this is the thing now about the NFL. And I've said this before. When I grew up, you didn't have to show up at camp in shape because you were doing 2-a-days. You were sweating your ass off. You had morning full padded practice. You had classroom study and film. You had a special team practice at lunch. You had classroom weight training, and then you had an afternoon practice, and then you had film study. So you were up at like 6 in the morning, and you were going till 9 o'clock at night, and you were sweating 20 pounds off your ass getting in shape. NFL's not that anymore. When the guys show up in the end of July, and now they're going to Hawaii, which is another travel day that's going to be added on there, they have 11 padded practice. They don't have 2-a-days. You got to show up in shape. And you have got to know what you are doing. This stuff right here, especially phase 2, where you're actually getting on the field, you are putting in your plays, your system. You are working on your timing and stuff now because you don't have that much time. And if you don't get that work in now, come training camp, you're going to be lost, and become the beginning of the season, you're going to be lost. So you look at a Le'Veon Bell who's not there in a new system with all new guys. What the F? But we got all of our team, all of our players, all there hanging out, working together, and becoming a team. And I had brought up a point earlier about Des Bryant situation, and it seemed like everything changed from that moment, where we used to have all of this hazing, where we had the veterans and stuff making the younger guys carry the shoulder pads and everything else, pay for the dinners and everything, right? But it seemed like that situation where Dez kind of said, I ain't carrying your bag. Who? Who are you? I'm Des Bryant, damn it. It's changed. Where this group of guys, instead of hazing each other, are looking out for each other. And they've got this bunker mentality that it's us against the world. And instead of fighting against each other, they're fighting everybody else. And I think that's a great thing. And that's why you see Connor McGovern said that Travis Frederick was first veteran to reach out to him as soon as he was drafted and stuff, to welcome in and telling him what's expected. You see Rod Martinelli going to Tristan Hill and saying, hey, look, you want to be part of us. Here's what you got to do. Let me know now if you're all in or not, because we don't want to take you if you're not. We want people that are here to work, to be part of all of this. Yes?
We had to sign that agreement.
What agreement? Yeah, the agreement, right. So that's what you see with this team that you're not seeing with other teams. We're not having the issues that other teams are having. Even though people are looking to get paid, everybody's there working. And I absolutely positively love every bit of it. So shout out to everybody who's put up with the lag here. North Carolina's biggest fan, Stephanie. How you doing? D. Will, Victor. I don't know what the problem is tonight, but shout out to you too. Big D. Dallas Cowboys for life. Right. Thank you very much. Larry Allen's son. Was only everybody looks great first day of practice.
They'll probably make the practice.
Larry Allen's son is kind of like that legacy pick. And if you've ever seen like Animal House, I know that's really, 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 really old. But in Animal House, there was like this guy who was a bit of a nerd, but his family had been in the fraternity. So it was kind of like they had to take him because he's like a legacy pick. I don't know if that's going to be the case for Larry Allen Jr. because, of course, you've got royalty as his father. So he's going to probably get more chances than most would. I would imagine. I could be wrong about that, but I would imagine that he will. We'll have to see how it works. The thing that's going to be interesting is we actually have a lot of guys, a lot of guys who are going to be on the bubble. That because we have all these camp battles, there's a lot of guys who we think of Cowboys that aren't going to make it. So you've got Connor McGovern in there. So you wonder if a guy like Salafalo is going to make it. Also, you have to also start thinking about La'el Collins. if all of a sudden you see Connor McGovern looking like he could start, if he comes out like Zach Martin-ish, you kick Connor Williams to tackle, then you say, we got an extra $8.5 million. And you see this competition because there's going to be some guys that we don't know their names right now. We haven't thought jack about them, that are going to come through and all of a sudden be like, wow. Antoine Woods was that guy last year. Came into training camp, 4th on the depth. Had 3 tackles, I think, before he came here. Nobody knew his name. Ended up with 33 tackles and 1.5 sacks and played valuable time. So there's going to be a couple of those guys that are going to be in the mix. But now you start looking at our pass rush. Now that we got a Tristan Hill, out there. Now that we've got all of these guys, you start again. You got to pay people. You got to try and keep your core together. Tyrone Crawford, you look and say, that's $6 million right there. And I'm not saying, and I'm not suggesting, Tyrone Crawford, please don't get mad at me. Don't cuss me out. Don't kick my ass when you see me or anything. I'm just saying that these are things that the Cowboys have to look at. In the same way they're saying, well, Dak, you're Dallas Cowboys, so you can make all kinds of money on the side. Well, Dak is, he can. But would you rather the Cowboys pay him so he doesn't have to worry about having to go out and do all these commercials or autograph signing? I would rather him not work on anything other than being a Dallas Cowboy quarterback. How about you guys? Does anybody else feel that way or feel that he should be out here doing 2 commercials a week and running himself ragged trying to go to OTAs, workout, knows for, the players and everything else? He ain't watching. Who ain't watching? So for me, pay the man. And this whole thing about taking a discount, he's taking a discount for 3 years. 3 years he hasn't made $2 million, which is what Aaron Rodgers makes every game. Oh, you know what? See, what's funny, here's what's funny, and I got to go back to that video of why people think that Dak Prescott is. I'll do a follow-up video because I'm going to go through and answer the worst responses on why they think he's not the guy. If I go through and I compare Dak Prescott's numbers to, say, Matt Ryan's numbers first 3 years or Troy Aikman's number, how dare you? You can't compare him to those guys. It was like, but his numbers were better at this point in their career. They were better than Russell Wilson's. That's a fact. Russell Wilson had the best defense in football. That helps. Last year was the best defense we've had in a long time, but it still was not the best defense in football. So you say, here's numbers where he's better. When you're comparing apples to apples, the same amount of time of being in the football on the field, you say, oh, you can't put him on there. But then they turn around and they say, well, look at how many yards Big Ben got. He got 5,200 yards. Dak Prescott didn't do that. Well, one, we got a running offense that's predicated on the run. And if you look at Tony Romo's numbers in 2014, when we were predicated on the run, he only threw for 3,600 yards. So you turn around and say, we can compare him here. He's not the same, but we can't compare him in the past. They'll turn around and say, he's not Carson Wentz. He's, doesn't elevate the team. He has to have players around him. Well, here's what's interesting. Take a look at what happened to Jared Goff last year when Todd Gurley had the arthritis in his knee after he lost Cooper Kupp. His numbers tanked. His numbers in the last 5 games of the season were as bad as Dak Prescott's first 5. And then people will turn around and say, oh, well, he lost Cooper Kupp and he didn't have Todd Gurley. Isn't that the same thing that Dak didn't have Zeke and didn't have any receivers start to see? Isn't that the same thing? You can't have it both ways. That's what drives me crazy about the whole Dak Prescott. I just don't understand. And I know it was there too with Tony Romo. But at this point in Dak's career, he's doing pretty damn good. He's doing pretty damn good. And now we got some players around him. Now we got rid of the dark ages of Scott Linehan. Let's see what we do this year, because we ended up looking pretty strong going down the line. Looked really, really strong going down the line. So I feel good about the team. I'm happy that we're working out on the field. Cam is, North Carolina's biggest Cowboy fan. Cam is retiring. And it's funny because fans chase names. As soon as he was released, I had people asking, should we sign Cam Chancellor? And I was just like, oh my God. Are you kidding me?
That guy was injured.
Thank you.
He might not even ever play
Cam
football
Chancellor
again.
couldn't play all of last year.
He might not even play football.
Cam Chancellor had said last year he may have to retire because he can't get back on the field.
He stayed for that paycheck until he got cut. He stayed for
Samuel, so you're telling me it's good you had to come back? Is it still not syncing up? Because that's why I was going to end it. I was going to go into overtime, but everybody keeps telling me it's not syncing up, and so it's bad, so I didn't want to keep doing it if it was bothering people and driving them crazy. But people were like, man, we should sign Cam Chancellor. And I'm like, the dude is effed up. He can't play. That's why they finally, they had an injury clause in his contract, so it's like, well, we have to pay him anyway. Might as well at least keep him there. If he does come back, great. If he doesn't, well, we'll just cut him later on. And that's what happens, because we still have people talking about Eric Berry. If Eric Berry, because the Cowboys did their homework and stuff on him, ain't nobody signing Eric Berry. He's done. He's done. But you think back to 2014, which was the last time he was actually any good. Well, Philly Cowboys 76, you're living up in Philadelphia and being a Cowboys fan, that's hard as hell. If you say keep going, I will keep going. Kathy Green, thank you very much. I'm glad you enjoyed the video of, or at least the clip. I'm going to upload it. It's probably going to take about an hour to upload or so it'll be up late tonight, but look for it tomorrow. Share it with some people and things, because I want to spread it around, because it also has the links for Dak Prescott's as well as Phillips charities and things, and that's where we all work together. There's another thing he said in there that was really, really cool, is he made me feel great, because he's like, I love what you're doing. He's like, and we got into a discussion about differences that people have. For me, growing up, people always had a difference of opinion, but we could at least sit down and talk about it. But unfortunately today, it seems like if you don't agree with me, the hell with you, bro. F you. And you can never, ever solve any problems without listening, without understanding. Because I don't care if you're black, white, grizzly gray, pink polka dot, or whatever. We all basically want the same things. We want to live happy. We want to have a family. We want to see our kids do well. We want to have a nice place to go. We want to be able to have vacations. We all want the same stuff. And we find out that if we actually work together, we are better together than apart. And I don't know how we've lost that along the way. And that's where Joseph, man, let me give a shout out to Joseph, because Joseph is one of the reasons why you see all this stuff that's going on in here. He has been so helpful with me getting this stuff together. He's made so many different donations and stuff to help me get the stuff. And of course, you see pieces of Joseph every day up here with the Football Gods, although some people have a little offense to me saying Football Gods. Understand, I'm not starting a cult or a religion or anything. When I say gods, I'm using it as a term of respect of the greatest Dallas Cowboys of all times. Don't mean to offend, and I've got some people who actually said I can't watch it anymore. I'm not trying to make this as a joke, but a voodoo doll was okay, but calling Tom Landry and those guys Football Gods is the breaking point. Okay. Anyway, I digress. it was great talking to him and just kind of pointing out, because he's like, look, Dad, father's black, mother's white. We ended up having to learn stuff. And he told me this one other part that was kind of cool. He said, okay, you got a crowd of white people. This is an 8th grader. He said, you got a crowd of white people over here, and you got a crowd of black people over here. Which side are you going to go to? He said, I'm going to go hang out with black people, my people over here. He said, now, the black people over there, they're all devil worshippers. Who are you going to hang out with? I was like, whoa, wait a minute. I'm not hanging out with devil worshippers. Eagle Employer Services, thank you very much for the super chat. Are you an Eagle fan, or you just like Eagles like America? Thank you very much for the super chat. The Cowboys suck. It's about the Saints. You know what, Jeremy Dennis? You do know the Cowboys kicked your ass last year, right? I believe we won, didn't we? So if we suck and we beat you, what does that make you? Oh, you didn't have to delete that one. That was okay. We were okay. Victor, you're not wanted here. Victor, you're not wanted being a jackass. We love you, man. I love you, but don't act like a fool. I know you need attention. Victor, you know we love you, man. But you don't have to go ahead and keep mooning us up in here. Tamara, you said it like 5 minutes ago. Oh, man. Okay. I'm glad you're a Dallas Cowboy fan. Eagle Employer Services. You just don't know. You see an eagle, you figure that they're going to be in there. I deleted the message. That's okay. We're cool on that. Victor, I thought you were leaving. You know what you're like, Victor? You're like the attention seekers that are going on Facebook that say, I'm leaving Facebook here and I'm not coming back. Bye. And then everybody beg, oh, please don't go. Please don't go. And it's like, okay, well, if you're going to beg me, then I guess I'll have to say. It's like, come on, man. Come on. You really got to do all that? Stop crying, Victor, and take your meds. Okay. They can't keep the D out their mouth. You're right about that one. The Saints have a channel? I'm sure, you know what? I have a, Philly 500 was asking me, he's like, you need to find like a Redskin YouTuber and get on here. I can't find them. They don't exist. It's like trying to find a unicorn. Don't worry, Incognito. We can't see him at least, okay? Redskin tailgate, any updates? We are going to have a huge tailgate. Oh, that's right. I was supposed to actually start. I'll do it this weekend. I will on, I've got on Facebook, Jobu Sports Report. If something ever happens to this channel, 2 places you can find me. Facebook, Jobu Sports Report, or on Vimeo, Jobu Sports Report, or I've started another channel, Jobu's Day Job. And shout out to, damn, I'm having a brain fart. My man made a killer logo for Jobu. I got to put it on there. I got to make sure it's okay for me to use it. Damn. You know, I'm getting old. Where's my cousin? He is in Stafford where he lives. With the YouTube about being a Redskin fan? Nope. Okay. People only love to hate. If they really had a team, I'm definitely not on their chat. Yeah, I'll go on Philly 500s because he's actually good people and he's actually rational. Well, except for saying he's going to sweep the Cowboys. They're going to be 13-3. Victor has no filter and no impulse control. Okay. That's why you can't compare haters. They don't want to hear it. They got tunnel vision. Is Dez coming? No, I don't think Dez is coming. Dez, I'll be honest with you, it's still kind of early, but he looks a little bit on the heavy side, and he's got a long ways to go with that Achilles to be ready to go. And that again is another case of chasing a name. I'm sorry, I think Dez Bryant's time has gone past. Dez Bryant has not been able to stay healthy since 2014. Every single year he has stayed injured. And I think the way this team is now, these young guys with mix of some veterans, that these guys, it's not going to mix well with Dez Bryant. And I really believe that between Dak and Dez, there's no, oh God, I don't want to do this. There's no way that Dak wasn't part of whether or not Dez goes. When Dak said, I need to throw Dez a perfect ball and hit him in the face mask, I think that was referring to when he literally hit him in the face mask and it bounced off. And I just think that for whatever reason, that mix just is not the right one. There's lots of times where you can have a great wide receiver who just doesn't work with somebody else. We can look at Amari Cooper, who had been with Derek Carr all those years, couldn't do jack. He comes to the Cowboys, boom, it's magic. So I don't know what to tell you on that one, but Dez, it's done. And the other part of bringing back Dez is Dez isn't going to want to play a backup role. So who are you going to take off the field? Are you going to take Amari Cooper off the field? Are you going to take Michael Gallup, who's developing, who became a deep threat, who's catching the ball? Are you going to not use Randall Cobb in the slot? Because Dez never played in the slot. So who's going to come off the field for Dez? Where's Rico? Rico is still with the Cowboys working out. And we'll see what happens. We'll find out. You know, a lot of people were down on Rico, but Rico actually played a lot of football last year. Cowboys 5 rings. Thank you very much for the super chat. Rico actually played a lot last year, but it was in a blocking role. He was, again, in Scott Linehan's doghouse, where they just weren't going to throw the ball to him unless, you know, all hell broke loose, basically. It took an act of God for him to get the pass to him. They messed him up by making him put on all that weight. He wasn't as fluid as a runner, and he didn't look as confident as he used to before. And I'm hoping that they let him get a little bit leaner, and he gets back to trying to use him as a weapon. He's still an experiment. You know, he's talking about somebody who didn't play football since 8th grade, and then all of a sudden coming out to play for the Cowboys. Oh, man. Pollard is, that was somebody I wanted to talk about, too. Tony Pollard may be the end of Austin for the Cowboys. Pollard is more than just a gadget guy. Pollard is fast. He's tough. He can catch the ball. He's a running back that is also a wide receiver. Austin was more of a Austin's more of a wide receiver that was kind of a tweener that they kind of tried to make a running back, but he doesn't have the body to hold up on that punishment. If Tony Pollard is as good as advertised with that offensive line, as a change of pace back, as a guy to spell Zeke, because ideally, I'm telling you, you want Zeke to get about 15 to 20 running plays, about 5 or 6 passing plays at most a game. So that way, when we get to the end of the season and we're ready to go to playoffs, he's ready to eat. He's ready to go for that 30 touches a game. You want this offense. I've always said this. 2016, it was death by 1,000 cuts. You did not know where the ball was coming from. You didn't know if it was going to be Zeke Elliott running up the middle. You didn't know if it was going to be Cole Beasley. You didn't know if it was going to be Terrence Williams. You didn't know if it was going to be Dez Bryant. You didn't know if it was going to be Jason Witt. You didn't know if it was going to be Dak Prescott on a bootleg. And teams could not stop all of that. Problem was in 17, we just kept trying to run the ball and do exactly the same thing. People caught up to it. We had injuries. We lost Zeke. It just didn't work as well as you thought. Still got 9 games. In most years, that gets you in the playoffs. No, Cam Chancellor, no. Cam Chancellor's going to have to retire. He's screwed up his neck. It's one of those things that he's done. He's toasted. He's out of here. He could not play the last year. Forget about it. Yes.
You want to know something I found out today?
What did you find out today?
Kellen Moore's the reason why Dak Prescott got drafted.
I hadn't heard that one. Come here and tell me this one. Michael Anthony is saying the reason that Dak. No, you mean it wasn't because I was at the draft saying draft Dak Prescott?
That's why.
Oh no! Hold on!
That's what I saw on NFL Network. He said he really liked him in college, and he was the reason why he got picked.
Well, maybe that's why Dak says he likes Kellen Moore.
Exactly.
I still say it was me. I still say it was me.
That could be part of it too.
I was on the bandwagon. Yeah. I was on the bandwagon for Dak Prescott at the draft. I was like, please draft this guy, please. Everybody was like, you crazy. But that's interesting. I'm going to have to look that up. So Kellen Moore won it. Yeah, Cam, again, Cam hasn't played in over a year. He's going to retire. So, no to Cam Chancellor. No to Eric Berry. Michael Anthony, show yourself. Now, I think he's upstairs fixing something to eat or something or other. Michael Anthony is Dak. I wish it was you. I missed that one, but yeah, that makes sense. But, here's the thing that is interesting, because we heard earlier in the week that Michael Irvin was like, I don't know about Kellen Moore, until he talked to Zeke Elliott. And then Zeke was kind of like, you know what? He's cool with me. He's like, he listens to us, gives us input and things, and will work with us. Victor, you going to be at the tailgate? All right, I'll put an extra pork butt in for you there, buddy, okay? Amen, 5 rings. Saints going 16. Oh, come on, Jeremy. 16-0? We got a delusional Saints fan. Okay. Watched every Kellen Moore game out here in Washington State. Okay. Oh, my God, Thomas. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can find it. Hang on 1 second. I'm depressed because my other channel was shut down. And what's funny is my channel was shut down for spam. And it's funny because it's not funny, but people will tell me that when I say I was the first one that wanted Dak Prescott.
And I liken him a little bit too.
They're like, yeah, right, sure you did. Because I had a guy who literally told me I'm an out-and-out liar on Twitter. You did not say anything about Dak Prescott. You're a damn liar. Excuse me. But I had the videos on my other channel. That channel was shut down by YouTube. It's got thousands of videos. There's videos with Tony Romo and, players galore and everything on there. They're locked up with it, so I can't get to it. And it's funny because it's the copyright laws that's going on, which is the reason why all this stuff is happening. And just for the fun of it, I just looked up and said, Dak Prescott, the perfect quarterback for the Cowboys. And I found it, where somebody had taken my video exactly and put it on their channel and has been getting views on it. So I don't know if I should be mad at the person for basically plagiarizing me or be thankful that he did, because this is the video. Joe Boo here with the Joe Boo Report. I just got finished watching some of the Senior Bowl, and I got to tell you, I'm feeling really high on Dak Prescott. That's right, Dak Prescott. In the way of Cam Newton, he's pretty good size, 6'2", 230 pounds, although he needs some time to sit on the bench, and it might be a good place to put him with the Dallas Cowboys. He's responsible for over 110 touchdowns in his college career. Now let's go look at some of the highlights and see what NFL Network has to say about him.
Ball up 10-3. Mississippi State's Dak Prescott finds Southeast Missouri State's Paul McRoberts. Gain of 14 and a first down. Those two not done. 3 plays later, 25 seconds left in the half.
Hey, Prescott, though, what you doing now? He put it in there.
Feeling it. The game's most outstanding player, Dak Prescott, 7 of 10, 61 yards.
Manny wobble on him. Dak Prescott, for me, is a guy that, and I liken him a little bit too. I don't think he's ready now to play in this league, but I think that with what he has, You pull the Tyrod Taylor where you give him some years of seasoning and then give him his shot. And I believe, because he's won a lot of football games, in the most difficult conference to play in, I think, still in this country, in the SEC. And so I think that a little more seasoning with Dak Prescott and a couple of years, this could be, a guy that makes that play style.
Providing that he can make plays in the pocket. And everything we saw from him at Mississippi State, he can do that. I think this league is really going towards a defense, or a team, I should say, or league, where the defenses are athletic. They can get after the quarterback. So you need quarterbacks who can move, who can extend and buy time. Yeah, you got to be able to make plays from the pocket, but you better have some athleticism to your game, and that's where Dak Prescott, I think, really fits in. He's got to prove he can make plays from the pocket at the NFL level, but that athleticism will bode well, providing he can do the other thing.
I'll be coming to Dallas for the Giants game to open up the season. Academic All-American, definitely studies the books. You probably won't hear about him in too many police reports, but I think the Dallas Cowboys may be able to trade back, pick up an extra pick or two, and end up picking this guy. Let him sit behind Tony Romo for a few years and maybe become a great quarterback. That's what I'd like to see, friends. Forget about Johnny Walker Menzel. Forget about RG Nee. I say, let's go with Dak. Kind of funny, isn't it, that somebody actually... You are 100% right. Somebody actually took my video.
And buy time. Yeah, you got to be able to make plays from the pocket, but you better have some athleticism.
Okay, so they did it back to back? Okay. Kind of funny, isn't it, that somebody else took my video, put it up, gets a couple thousand views, and my channel gets deleted. Go figure. But it's all good. At least it's still out there because that's you can see how bad that was. Back in the day there. I mean, that was literally really, really rough. I guess I've come a long ways in a short time. But Dak had it in college. Victor, Victor, I don't know. When you get Joseph and Miss Jackie and I don't know what you're doing. I'm not seeing all the chats. But Victor, please.
He's banned from my channel. So.
Victor, please. You're banned from Michael Anthony's?
I think he's banned for Eat Your Blues, too.
Come on, man. Why? Why do you want to be banned from all these channels?
It's rude.
I don't understand it.
There's no point in being rude and nasty.
Thank you, Stephanie. I appreciate it. What's funny is when I did that video, I had about 300 people on my channel. And it wasn't until, and when I did the video, nobody cared about it. Nobody freaking watched it until Tony Romo got hurt, because then everybody was like, oh my God, who's this guy Dak Prescott? And it was like, they found this video. It's like, oh, this guy called it. So, people wonder, well, why do you care about Dak? Because I've always believed in him. When I looked at that college film, he just looked like he had it. Keep in mind that Mississippi State was not like going to Alabama. They weren't a football factory. And he was playing against the best of the best. The Southeast Conference puts in 50 to 60 guys in the NFL every freaking year.
13 guys got drafted this year.
Huh?
13 guys from the school got drafted this year.
Well, because he put them on the map.
If you include free agency.
But that's where you're playing against great competition. I'm like, this guy is tough because he could take a hit, which was something we weren't getting from Tony Romo. And I'm not trying to bury Tony Romo. Tony Romo was a great quarterback. He just didn't have it all together with the team, and it literally has to become like a perfect storm to win the Super Bowl. You can have great players and great talent, but sometimes it comes down to a call from an official that screws your season. Sometimes it comes to the ball bouncing the wrong way. Football is so unpredictable that it's not always the best team that's the one that wins. It's the one that plays the best at the right time. Yes, Thomas, that was the amazing part. Mississippi State was ranked for was it 3 or 4 weeks, #1 in the nation, which is something that had never happened. We're talking about Mississippi State being, in the bottom of the basement of that league. And he came about, and of course they said, well, he's like Tim Tebow. Okay, all right. And that kind of stuff has stuck with them because of all the people that are constantly saying, just like him, dink and dunk. But the funny thing is per completion last year, he was only 0.4 yards less than Ben Roethlisberger. And you could look at Ben Roethlisberger. Look at the guys that Ben Roethlisberger was throwing to. Ben Roethlisberger wasn't exactly throwing to nobody's first half of the season. But Mark, Mississippi always then pretty good down here in the South. Okay, well I'll be the first one to admit, Kathy, I don't do that much college football. I spend so much time with the NFL. If I started doing basketball or baseball, hockey, or college football, I'd end up being divorced. My wife would just be, nah, that's it, we're done. Victor, I understand you're going through a lot right now, and I'm not going to bring a child in this evil world. You're not ready to bring a child into this evil world. But Victor, right now, you're the one that's being evil.
I'll just block him.
Victor, we feel bad for. Listen, man.
I don't feel bad for him.
What you want is friends. You don't want enemies.
I don't feel bad for that dude.
We're a community, man. We are Dallas Cowboy fans. We all look out for each other and stuff. As long as you're not a jackass. Come on, man. Let's get this stuff together. North Carolina's biggest Cowboy fan. You're right about that. It's not about you. You know what? You hit the nail on the head because when you have kids, you forget about you can check your feelings at the door. You can check your needs at the door because it's all about taking care of those kids. And believe me, I had a flesh-eating bacteria, almost died. My wife left me, lost my job, and I had him and his sister at 5 and 3 to take care of by myself while I learned how to walk and had to pick up the pieces. You know how we used to hear comedians talk about, we stole cable from next door? When I saw that bit, I was like, that ain't funny. Because I was watching on cable, I was stealing from next door. That's a true story. And you have to do what you have to do to survive because it's not about you. It's making sure that that little one has the opportunities to make it. There were times where if I didn't have the kids, I might have blown my brains out that things were so bad. But I knew I had to make it because of those kids, that it was my job, my duty to take care of them. And you need to wake up. And you have to find out and do what you have to do. If it's work 2 jobs like I did, if it's trying to start your own business like I did, if it's like you got to work overtime like I did, if it's like you got to get up extra early, do your daughter's hair so she can go to school and hopefully not look bad and get joked on, you have to do that for your kids. And you need to get your mind right now. And you need to stop hating and acting like an asshole trying to get attention. Because, I like you, Victor, but you got to stop this whole, craziness. Seriously. So we've gone in overtime here. We've gone lagging, and I look like I'm a Chinese kung fu movie here and everything else. I'm not sure what it is, but I'll figure it out before Monday. I was so excited because I had a few new tricks and stuff in here. I had the extra monitor so that way I could set all this stuff up, and I was like, yes, it's all ready to go. And now it's just kind of messed up. But I want to leave on a good note here because I'm remembering how nice it was when we beat Philadelphia that second time. And this was that.
What a game. Cowboys experience. We got our money's worth. And you can see the Eagle fans have left the building. I think I'm just going to sit down here for a moment. Whew. I got to tell you, I have never... Oh, nice meeting you. Check out the channel, man. I got to tell you guys, I have never in my life heard the Cowboys Stadium this loud. Unbelievable. I gotta sit down a second. Okay. Just give me a second. Great meeting you. Let me get my stuff and catch up with Michael. Woo.
I really expect.
And get my Cowboys towel. Hang on, guys.
I don't even remember what happened in UK. But all I know was it was so emotional that I just kind of lost it.
Okay, so guys, forgive me. I had to grab my stuff. Had to get Jobu. Oh, jeez. Thank you. Good Samaritan. I almost left my other phone. Hang on.
Wow.
Thank you very much for saving Jobu. Check out his channel. Thank you.
Always press the channel.
What a game. Woo.
All the way from Philly, the Cowboys fan.
Damn. I did. Woo.
Okay. So definitely not my best
film. Where
film.
Michael went. What a game. Oh my God. I am literally dying here. The Cowboy fans are ecstatic.
Football is truly emotional.
I cannot believe a game like that. Unbelievable. This weekend, I gotta tell you, has been one hell of an experience. I just can't believe it. I'm speechless, guys. Woo! Yeah. How about them Cowboys? There you go. Okay.
And that's what football does to you. It will literally make you lose your mind. It is so emotional. That game was so much highs and lows. The experience from Cowboys experience, who we're going to be doing a lot of great stuff with, was just unbelievable. I can't wait for the season to get here. I'm literally going to bust. But right now, we've been going for over an hour and a half. I appreciate everybody. I will find out why we're lagging and everything else. I see my wife's dog is down here barking. I see Roscoe over here in the corner. So it sounds like everybody's saying it's time for us to end this show. Whew. It's time to turn off the lights, man. Because this party is over.
The party's over. They say that all good things must end. Call it a night. The party's over. And tomorrow and next year starts the same old thing again.